Rozpoczynam dziś transmisję numer 2A. Czekaj, istoty. 720 automatycznie. Nie wiem, co mi transmisja mi spada. Dobrze, teraz jest normalnie. Witam wszystkich, tutaj Piaro z tej strony i nasz chomik. Hello, przywitajcie. Dzień dobry. Nasza maskotka. On tu jest cały czas, żebyście wiedzieli. Whee! Tutaj stoi za kamerką. Dobra. Ludzie doszły mi dwie nowe gierki. Co musiałem wziąć. Kontynuujemy Pilarsy. Najważniejsze skończyć grę. Pamiętam, że skończyliśmy na wyspie Pokutnika już. Najważniejsze questy już zakończyłem. Ruszamy z fabułą do przodu. To, co się udało. No, of course. Ruszamy. To jest to. Zobaczcie, wszystkie prawie zadania zrobione. Tego perłowe urwisko nie pamiętam gdzie jest. Nie chcę tego szukać. Latać po wszystkich. O! Coś nowego.
Do you remember when we were children and the missionaries came to tell us about the gods? They told us we could see them in the stars.
Iwora. Kontynuuj.
I remember when I heard that, I snuck out at night and climbed the watchtower in the old fort because I wanted to see them better.
Okej. No dobra, zobaczyliście, żeby ich zobaczyć, dobra.
That fort burned down a few years ago when we cast the missionaries out. It was the missionaries who set fire to it. They didn't want us to be able to use it. Shame. There was history in that fort.
Pierwsze. Był już stary i nie nadawał się do użytku. Stwarzał złudne poczucie bezpieczeństwa. Martwię się o ciebie.
I miscalculated many things since this began. I'm relieved you weren't one of them. It's a good thing we didn't hang you.
Dobrze, że się nie powiesiliśmy.
I always knew this path would have consequences. But I never wanted to see Kratom suffer on my behalf. I don't think I can stay here any longer. I am told the Inquisition is gathering an army, that they have sent messengers to bargain with rulers from distant lands. Kratom is not built to withstand a siege.
No.
If war is coming, I should be doing what Theos is doing. I will need allies. Allies on a stronghold that can resist an invading army.
No.
Osionis. They have held off many would-be invaders, and their king has no love of the Inquisition's faith. I wonder, would he listen?
Możliwe. O. Tu też coś jest, co mogę wchłonąć. Dawaj. Dawaj moc. Tędy. O! A. Dobra. O! Coś się zmieniło. Przynajmniej jak tu byłem, nie było tego.
Another turn, Inquisitor.
Oho!
I ask again, Jovara Ixensios, do you confess to these heresies of which you stand accused?
O ja.
Do you confess to apostasy?
O ja. Oj, oj, oj.
I confess to renouncing a mistake.
No.
Do you confess to conspiracy against the one true faith?
I confess to opening minds.
Na co?
Do you confess to false prophecy?
I confess to following a false prophet.
Indeed. And where might we find this heretic?
O.
He wears the robes of a Grand Inquisitor.
Okej.
You have no followers here, heretic. Your lies hold no sway in the court of the penitents.
Only my truth, then.
Another turn.
No! Wait! Wait! I'm ready. I'm ready.
You are ready to give a confession?
I'm ready to hear one from you.
Dobra, skaczemy.
Well?
Czyli posągu Władyki winduje ogromna otchłań, żaden płomień światła z powierzchni nie sięga samego jej dna. Ale mimo to zauważasz migotzące ogniki opionego blasku w czeluści. Tego nie było poprzednio. Powiewa cię podmuch wiatru z tchłani, nie jest zimny, ale sprawia, że na ramionach pojawia się gęsia skórka. Wiatr niesie ze sobą niski i syczący szept. Gdy spoglądasz w dół, dusze zmieniają się wokół ciebie, otaczają cię chmurą esencji, która przepływa wokół twojego ciała. Podczas gdy ty zastanawiasz się, jaki powinien być twój kolejny ruch. Skacz do dołu. Bez wahania. Skaczesz ufając obietnicom bogów i mocy dusz, że zaniosą cię bezpiecznie na sam dół. Okej. Czyli te, które zebrałem. Uczucie spadania zabiera ci dech w piersiach, ale dusze łapią cię, otaczając błyszczącą aurą. Mimo że spowalnia cię, ciągle czujesz, że spadasz szybciej niż powinieneś. Unoszą cię wokół ciebie, esencja jest bardzo silna, lecz chaotyczna. Zauważasz, że znosi cię w kierunku ścian. Aha, znosi mnie. Niedobrze. Atletyka. Obróć się. Uważaj na ścianę, dopiero możesz się mocno potłuc. Obróć się, kierując z powrotem na środek otchłani. Kierujesz się w stronę bezpiecznej i otwartej przestrzeni. Udaje ci się rozkrzyżować ręce i nogi, ustawiając swoją pozycję i szybkość opadania. Dotarłeś do sądu pokutników. Kamienne podłoże liczące 1000 lat stanowi bezpieczne oparcie dla twoich stóp. Okej. Twoja drużyna ma wysoki poziom, jak na przygody w rozszerzeniu. Akt 4. Jeśli wolisz krytyczną ścieżkę, możesz zostać przeskalowany poziom trudności. Nie, standardowy. Lecimy w dół. Ciekawe.
After what seems like an eternity, your rapid descent comes to an abrupt end. You remain still for a moment while your heart settles and your eyes adjust, breathing in stale, forgotten air. Before you, a narrow and eroded walkway becomes faintly visible in the dim light, cutting a winding path through a cavern so expansive it seems a world unto itself. In the distance, you can make out the cold gleam of living Audra veins that spike and fork in and out of view from the murky depths beneath, their glow a faint and fleeting guide along the ancient trail. You look above at the opening you jumped through, now barely a speck of light like some distant star alone in the cosmos and forever out of reach. Your only way lies ahead.
Gotowy. Idziemy. Rozpoczynamy akt 4.
I think I dislocated my... That's better.
Everyone all right? No shattered knees? Good. Just me then. That was bracing.
This place is cursed.
Okej. Dobra. Rozejrzyjmy się.
As you wish.
Rozejrzyjmy się. Co to może być?
Take a look at this.
Nie.
Yes. Keep an eye out.
Będzie więcej. Powinienem bardziej częściej z Sagani chodzić. Ona ma wykrywanie pułapek na wyższym. Dobranoc.
What's this, Nicola?
A blade in the dark. Bring them down. Hello? Hello?
Co to jest? Kurna ściąga na twoją esencję, wyczuwasz w niej... Co? W niej... tętno całego świata. Ojej, maszyna na dole musi być. Co to kurwa ma być? Jakiś animanta? Nic z takim tam nie walczyłem. Dobra. Oj, Gana. Dawaj.
Kill them all.
O, piorunem ładnie.
Ready, Watcher. It's done.
Yes.
Ty zaraz, czy to leczy? Tak jakby to leczyło. A to co? Aha. 1000 dusz. Okej. Dobra, i tłumacz. Dobra. Słyszałem, ile was tam jest? O, styk. O ja cię. Kana jest tak dobrze zrobiony.
They see nothing while I see much. Take a look at this.
Gdzie tam w to wlazł? On wlazł w tą pułapkę. Tam się zranił.
Ready, Watcher.
Gani, rozbrój mi to. Ooo.
Right.
Lej. Ja pierdzielę, ile agry.
Yes.
O! Oj, oj. O, proszę. Dusza tej dziewczyny, co była na górze torturowana.
So my love returns to me at long last.
Czyli?
You are so different now from who you were then, yet much remains the same. Old troubles with a new face. What is it that has brought you here?
Dwójka.
A gallant gesture, if a bit misguided. And yet I suspect there is more to this than you have said.
No, coś prawda.
I can only guess your presence here has something to do with Theos. The energy of this place changes when he is near. I don't know what he has done, but I do know of the souls that pass through here now. They do not come by choice.
No właśnie.
After all this time, he would still stand against the tide. I will tell you what I remember. I can see his influence, still hanging like a weight about your neck.
Właśnie.
So it always was. He had inspired something in you. We spoke of him the last time you were here also. It was just after the trial. You were agitated. I think because you started to consider that what I was teaching may have been true.
Tak, jaką prawdę? A jaką mianowicie?
That the gods aren't real.
Ojej, mi się ciekawie. Jak to nie są prawdziwi?
She's not serious.
Ciekawie, zaczyna mi się podobać ta sytuacja.
Perhaps not to her. Many are those whom the gods have scorned. This is petty retribution.
No dalej.
There's a theory puts my boldness to shame. But we ourselves have seen the gods' influence.
No właśnie.
That doesn't seem possible.
Dokładnie.
What I taught was that the gods whose faith we had been spreading were not gods at all, but something else entirely. Something created by people.
Czy właśnie dlatego zapoczątkowałeś własną religię?
I never thought of it as faith, but I think you are right to call it that. Let the world see. Let them decide what to do. That was my faith.
Ona mówi, że ona powiedziała, że bogowie nie istnieją, a wy decydujecie, czy w to wierzycie, czy nie.
I became a missionary because the gods brought me hope that I wanted to bring to others. For a time, the truth sent me to a dark place. Then the day came when I realized nothing had changed, that I still had a purpose, and the purpose was the same and it was worth living for. I began questioning the other missionaries in public, exposing their parlor tricks. In time, their following became mine.
Okej. W jakim celu? Ciekawe.
They were conceived by Engwin, a society of high minds and broad concerns. Theos' people. In their time, every people worshipped its own gods. Sometimes they warred over it. After a few wars of their own, the Engwithans sought an end to it. They devoted all their energy to finding the true creators.
Okej. Co stworzyli?
Generation after generation, they prodded and worked the stitching of the world and unlocked its secrets. One day, they found an answer. Except the answer was no answer at all. There were no gods to be found. Or if there ever were, they were gone.
Aha, odeszli. Ciekawe.
It shook them, this finding. If they could discover this on their own, how long until others would? How long before war and chaos reigned over a world without consequence? But they had mastered many things in their pursuit of these answers. And with their mastery, they crafted their own gods to fill the void, and sent missionaries to the corners of the world to spread their faith.
Okej, jak to wszystko odkryłaś?
The Nguithan missionaries all knew it, but they never told the rest of us. They meant it to be a secret that died with them. And in the end, they allowed their bloodlines to fade from memory. I had been assigned to join a few of them at a temple. I found the door to their chambers closed, but the room was stone and the door thin. Their voices carried. I heard enough. I investigated the things they spoke of, and everything was there, just as they said it'd be. You asked me this once before. Nothing I can say would be any proof, and it may be certainty your soul craves. Resolution. But if you are bound for the same place Theos directs these souls, you will see for yourself, as you once did.
Okay.
Everyone faces this truth at one time or another. Few confront it. Few have the stomach to ask what if. And in avoiding the question, they deny themselves an identity of their own. What if all the tragedy, all the persecution, came in defense of an imposter?
But that's not... That can't be right. Aethys, he's done miracles for people.
Właśnie.
The power of the gods is undeniable. The truth of the story they weave is not. What if it were forbidden knowledge rather than fault that earned your doom? What of your guilt?
I have seen with my own eyes the deceptions of my goddess. The Watcher has shown me as much. But it was not until now that I understood how truly desperate she was. The depths of her deception.
You speak of her deceptions, but what of your own? Was it her words that led you down your path? Or was it the absence of her words? A gap that you filled with your own broken thoughts?
Okay.
If all our common threads are spun from a lie, what's left to bind us together?
You have it wrong. The best stories are often lies, but they teach us something all the same.
Uczą nas czegoś, też prawda.
Let aspirations and dreams bind us rather than fear. Already, we have built upon that thread and made a tapestry. Would you unravel it?
Threads spun from falsehoods tend to unravel on their own, my friend. For it is in our natures to seek truth. What if our burdens come to us not because they are meant to be, but because they happen to be?
Przypadkiem.
We fulfill them anyway, because they still matter to the people around us, even if we know better.
What if the cycle of birth and death is nothing more than a tool of endless preoccupation?
Okay. co jeśli niczego nie możemy być pewni? Wtedy jedyną wartością stanowią rzeczy, które sami wytworzymy.
And in the lives we create, is this not the essence of motherhood? To create, cherish, nurture, to give of yourself for the sake of another.
Drugiej osoby. Dokładnie.
There is bliss to be found in the things we create, but sorrow as well. Every creation bears the imperfections of its creator, and its creator's creator. Art and song are creations, but so are weapons and lies. We must be careful that our creations do not consume us.
No, też prawda.
I ask these things not to trouble, but to show why they must be confronted. No answer is simple, but somewhere between them all lies a truth so beautiful, not even a god could conceive it. Do we not owe ourselves a chance to find our part in it?
Nie, ludzie muszą wiedzieć, że nic się nie dzieje bez powodu. Wymyślona przyczyna jest lepsza niż żadna.
That is the thinking that has shaped the world, for better or worse.
No i?
I've been alone here with my thoughts for so long now. I've found peace with my failures and with my punishment. I no longer curse fate for what might have been. But there is one thing that has clawed and scraped at my mind all these years. One thing that will not be put to rest until I know. Until I understand.
Co się stało?
I need to know why you chose to remain with the Inquisition, even after you'd learned the truth. Do you remember?
Bałem się tego, co mógłby mi zrobić Taos, gdybym się nie zgodził. Piątka.
Woodica gifted him a great many things, but his ability to manipulate was always his own. Good. The things I taught, the things I believed, I needed to hear that. I needed to know it wasn't because... Of all that I loved you for, it was your righteousness most of all. You had heard both sides seen everything. If not you, then who?
Rozumiem twój punkt widzenia.
I'm aware of the folly of trying to learn so much from so little. I've had time to consider that in all its facets, but in the end, it was all I had. Even knowing what you've told me, some part of me knows it doesn't truly answer what I wished to know, nor will an eternity of silent contemplation. I will have only my guesses and suspicions, and that will have to do. And what of your understanding of our past? Are you at ease with the choice you made?
Patrzę teraz na świat inaczej niż kiedyś. Żałuję tego, co zrobiłem i prosiła o wybaczenie. Po pierwsze tak, ja bym mógł żyć jeszcze raz i pamiętać to, spojrzycie, co teraz bym zrobił, i mógłbym coś naprawić, tak jak tu on może, to bym wybrał też to pierwsze. Tak.
I have always forgiven you. Though I didn't know your reason, I knew you. I knew we had had something wonderful once. Looking back at that has helped me through these many years. At first I thought this might be the source of your soul's anguish, but now I see I was mistaken. You are not divided on this matter. You have put it behind you. It is with Theos that your agony lies, in sun and shadow. Your questions are not for me, but for him. And it may be that only an answer from the mouth of Theos himself will satisfy your needs.
Okay.
Yet if there is anything I can tell you that would be of use, ask and you shall know.
Czy jesteś przywiązany do tego miejsca na wieczność?
In a matter of speaking, this is Yamen, the court of the penitents. Souls are confined here until they repent. They must beg the forgiveness of a god, pledge their soul to them, and they will be lifted from this place to the world above. In truth, they receive leniency, but not true mercy. The spite of Whitaker is eternal. They linger above, at the site of the old court, and are not permitted to leave the island, forever severed from the cycle.
Wyrwane z cyklu. Czyli tak jakby dusza płynie w rzece, jak ryba, klub, wyjęta i już nie wróca, i już nie wraca.
This prison was full once in the days of the Inquisition, but time weathers all things, even will. I'm the only tenant who remains. Yet, I feel their presence strongly now, as it was in the beginning. You have brought many of them here. They cry out for the judgment of Theos. You have struck some bargain with the gods, then.
Wykorzystuje bogów do realizacji własnych celów.
They aid you because they would bend you to their own purposes. Engwith built gods from ideals, and an ideal on its own is a grotesque and vicious thing. But these souls, these forgiven, the gods have bequeathed you like chattel. They were loyal followers in life. They will be with you to the very end.
Właśnie, dlaczego nie ukażesz z grupy i nie uwolnisz się z tego miejsca?
Last time someone asked me that, I was bound to an iron wheel with a broken spine. There are many things I've come to doubt about the choices I made in life. But that trial was my one moment of certainty. Even without a chorus of gods to tell me I had been right. The gods need to be reminded that we have a spirit, and that spirit is proof against their power. They have the power to manipulate and confuse and ruin us, but not to change our will. I will remain here until the world crumbles and fades from existence with joy in my heart, knowing I've shown them what they truly are.
Okej. Czy to miejsce, słońce w cieniu, czym ono jest? Okej. Jak to się stało, że znasz język aedyrski? A, no tak. Czy wiesz, czego potrzebuje od Taosa?
I could not say for sure. But you have been to Sun and Shadow before, and it came at a crossroads in your life, when much of what you knew had been upended. I have to believe it will come to you there. Your concerns then were of loyalty and trust and the gods. Everything I told you seemed to send you further into doubt.
Wątpliwości, okej.
His words mattered to you when you knew him then. After you and I spoke, you went immediately to seek him out. Perhaps you simply sought confirmation from the man you trusted. Something from that time still troubles you. It may be something he told you then, or refused to tell you. He keeps secrets better than any in this world.
Okej. Dlaczego to zrobił wszystko? Piątka.
He cares only for the secret he keeps locked away. He destroys anyone who might discover it, no matter their chances.
O!
That's why he's always favored Woodica. It isn't in her love of promises or justice. It's her disregard for the rules. Her willingness to do what is necessary. To Theos, she's not a deity, but an ally with which to conspire. When her power waxes, she does as she pleases with this realm, as well as hers. And she wants that secret guarded as much as he.
Okej.
If Theos succeeds, there will be a shift in the balance of power among the gods. Woodica was vanquished once, when the other gods decided she had gone too far, and her power diminished. With this infusion, there is no telling what she will do. The only certainty is that there will be chaos in their realm, as well as ours. You will not find a more resolute being on all of Eora. There is no offer you could make, nor spell you could cast, nor pain you could inflict that would make him reveal what he hides. But I see you have become a watcher in this life. Perhaps in defeat, when he can no longer defend himself, you might learn something from him.
Okej. Zaczyna się ciekawie. 7.
Theos will not wait for you. If you do not catch up to him now, you may never find him again. If I repent, all I have done has meant nothing.
W takim razie nie mogę tracić więcej czasu. Żegnaj, Iwaro.
I am grateful you came and found me here, no matter the circumstances. You're not exactly who you once were, I have to remind myself. But seeing you one last time, and remembering what we shared, brief as it was better than anything I dared hope for in this place.
Okay.
If ever we should meet again, in this life or any other, I hope to find you at peace.
Spoczywaj w pokoju, Iwaro.
Yes. Yes. Brave does he like
Walczymy dalej!
No prison! No.
Keep it in mind.
Wow. Co tu się dzieje? Leczą się szybko! Patrzcie, wejdę w to i się uleczę. Bingo. Na ile procent jest w tym pułapka? W tym kufrze?
It's done.
O, nie było.
Brave does he like
Padł.
Bring them down!
Padł, na noc.
Kill them all!
Są silniejsze tu.
Margaret's fire casts light in dark places.
Ci jak bogowie nie istnieją. Stworzone to
Always something new.
pułapka.
Well?
Ciekawe, gdzie ja wejdę. Jak dzisiaj skończymy... Słońce w cieniu. Tu nic nie widzę.
I can't see much, but I hear a noise like a pig choking on wet feet. So, I guess Durrance is breathing at least.
Zapiszę, dzielny zapis. To jest chyba dzisiaj ostatni odcinek, jaki będzie, bo to chyba będzie już zakończenie. Wszystkie zadania wykonane. Oj. Co się dzieje? Światło. Co się odpala?
Look at the size of this place.
Look at that. A city to put all others to shame. And long lost.
Many spirits stir here, edged with anger, violence.
We light our own path now, Watcher.
Can you do that again? I had something in my eye. I missed most of it.
Eder, trzeba było patrzeć. Ja zrobiłem trika, a ty się śmiałeś. Dobra, spokojnie. Najpierw tu. No coś tu jest. Moment. O, diamenty. Dobra, spoko. Coś tu. Dobry.
Bring them down!
Zjawy. Opas.
Keeping an eye out.
A to... Ojej, to znowu włączę. Ojej. Proszę bardzo. Co to ma być?
Yes? Following your lead.
Kana, dawaj to.
What?
I dajesz to.
What is it?
Dobra, udało się. To ja zrobiłem, ale dobra. A, dobra. Okej. Bo już chyba wiemy, o co chodzi w tym mieście. Musimy walczyć z przeszłością. Tak jakby to były duchy tych potworów. Wtedy będę w to porozmawiać.
Doesn't that just beat all? Here I was, wondering all this time whether all these terrible things were people's fault or the gods'. Turns out they might be the same thing. Wonder how things would have gone different 15 years ago if the Raid Sarens had been told their god was made in some forge or kiln someplace. Would we still have gone to war?
O,
I could see the rebellion still happening, but I don't know that they would have invaded.
no właśnie, nie byłoby inwazji.
I don't know. When Woden left for war, we had a fight, as brothers will,
O co?
about him going off to war. He was set on it. My parents warned him. They said you get a new country with every trip across the border, but your God, you only get the one. Me, I didn't know who was right. All I knew was I didn't want him to go. It's the same for families as it is for gods. You only get the one.
Ma się tylko jedno.
And I said every vicious thing I could think of, trying to change his mind. He brushed it off. Just got me madder, of course, him being so calm. He said I should come with him, but he'd understand if I didn't want to. I told him he'd better be able to face his God one day and answer for what he'd done. He said he'd keep that in mind. And then he was gone.
Wiem.
By the time I'd cooled off, months had passed. One morning it dawns on me that my brother always knew better than me. If he was so sure of what he was doing, then I should be there with him. I packed my things and was on the road that same morning. Of course, what I didn't know then was he'd already changed his mind. By that time, he was dead on that field.
O, to niedobre.
If I'd have left with him, we'd both be dead, so I don't know why I bothered thinking about it. He asked me to trust him the day he left. Said if I went with him, he'd make sure we were on the right path. And he deserved that. He deserved that trust from me. Raid Saris is a long way to walk on your own. I think I'd have liked to have been there with him on that journey, even knowing how it ended.
Właśnie.
Crossed my mind. You live in a place like Gilded Vale. You don't have a whole lot else to do other than think about things you don't want to think about.
No też prawda.
I hope that wasn't it. I hope he went there because it's what he thought was right. But it seems I'm not meant to know. Still one more mess we gotta straighten out. Come on then. I still owe you one. Yes.
Eder, przyjacielu. Idziemy w tym razem. Masz nowego brata.
As you wish.
I'm on the trail.
Oj. A tu co się stanie? Oj, oj, oj.
Hey.
Yes?
Ready, Watcher.
Chwila, zrak?
Can't get a good shot with this.
I have to.
As you wish. Keep an eye out.
Dużo was.
What? Mow it. Kill them all!
Of course.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
Muszę to wszystko poodpalać, czy co? Tu jest ending. Więc może jeszcze nie będzie endingu. Oczyścimy całość. Kulki tutaj nie ma. Mogę coś z tego zrobić? Nie. Nazwa. Aha. Aha. Robimy save'a. Będzie dłuższy odcinek i kończymy grę dzisiaj. Nie lubię kończyć gier, ale...
Well? Well?
Jeszcze 2, żeby mieć kopię. Wyrzuty sumienia ma Eder. Wiedziałem. Pora zakończyć to, co zacząłem 5 lat temu, czy jeszcze nie. Tak jest!
Are you ready to take the oath? To spread the word of the gods to the lost and heathen? I am trusting you to remain loyal to the gods in this. If you do not, you will have greater powers than me to answer to. But you will answer to me as well. I wouldn't ask this were there any other choice.
Zewnętrzny krąg. Nie, przepraszam. Tu jest przejście. Coś strzela piorunami.
This is a missionary, same as I was, taught the wrong things as I was.
Iwora.
Alcyones. They have held off many would-be invaders.
You are ready to give a confession?
I am ready to hear one from you.
Oj.
You are far from your post, Inquisitor. What brings you here?
Kogo przedstawia? Co to za miejsce?
We are in a sanctum holy to Utica. There are others like it in service to the other gods. I come here often to pray for her counsel, and in this space I may be assured that she hears me.
Jaka jest funkcja tej machiny za tobą?
It has many uses, but its purpose is to bring structure to the chaos that surrounds it.
Kogo przedstawiają te wszystkie te rzeźby?
They are monuments to Udica's greatest servants among my people. I hope to join them myself one day, but my work is not yet complete.
Czy Iwora mówiła prawdę?
That woman sought only to destroy the foundations of peace and civility that my people sacrificed everything to build.
Cała inkwizycja była oparta na kłamstwie.
The Inquisition was based on the need to cut the flesh from a rotting wound.
Czyli tak. No właśnie. Nie istnieją.
What is a god? A higher power? A rewarder of good deeds and punisher of the wicked? Something men can turn to in their darkest moments when their days seem only like bridges from one tragedy to the next. Our gods are all these things.
Czy bogowie nie istnieją?
We are in a sacred place within earshot of the gods themselves. This is not the time. You've been through much these past few months. You will return home and you will rest. When you feel you have recovered, you may rejoin us at the trials. The Inquisition is far from over, and I will have need of you. There are many who continue to spread the lies of the apostate. The Inquisition will not end until we have pronounced judgment on all of them. How did you find it?
To nie ja, udało się to łeb.
Another in a string of acts of petty defiance. For all her knowledge, she always preferred spite over reason.
Ona cię kochała, debilu.
Then she should have obeyed. I ask one thing of all my followers. She was incapable. A waste of rare talent and intellect.
Jej talent i intelekt był zbyt wielki, aby ci służyć.
What of your cohorts, then? They have followed you to their deaths. Is it loyalty that brings them here? Or is it, as my agents suggest, that they have no direction of their own? You worshipped Elvis, did you not?
Your spies are good. What gave me away? The cape?
Yet when your god needed you the most, you chose your country.
We were being invaded, not by anyone who was acting like a god.
Then I should think your hometown gave you a hero's welcome when you returned.
Well, they made cake. And I think you can expect folks to get jumpy when the gods aren't there to reassure them. Maybe if they weren't all too busy trying to kill each other.
The gods argue over how best to prevent Kith society from destroying itself. These disruptions would not be necessary were mortal instinct not so diseased. You have devoted yourself to studying the work of my people. Why?
I thought your people had much to teach us. That we too could create great machines, improve our ships, make an empire as vast and impressive as yours ever was, built upon your secrets.
And did you ever consider that these were things you were never meant to understand? That their comprehension is beyond you?
I did. But it turns out that doesn't matter, you see. I'll bring these secrets home and set them before 1,000 eyes and ears. I don't care if it takes 100 years. We'll figure it out.
Tak to? A!
Nie masz picia.
Poczekaj zaraz. Nie, to nic. Nie mam. Nie mam. Do Krzyśka, ja nie mam nic.
O, ale jest.
Mleko. Nie mam. Nie mam. Mam. Mówię ci poważnie, nic do Krzyśka, ja nie mam picia. Krzysiek ma, nie winne. Mało piwo. Ja muszę sobie zrobić.
The leaden key exists to ensure that you will not. Take the secrets home, and we shall follow.
To się nim zajmą.
Greater civilizations than yours have attempted to reclaim what we buried. The greater their successes, the worse their fates in the end. I have seen to it. You built a weapon that delivered exactly as promised.
I served my goddess as you did yours.
Yet the other builders were slain, 11 of a dozen. Why not you? Were you somehow different? Redeemable in your god's sight?
Whatever desire I had to be redeemed in her eyes was weakness, purged by the Watcher's sight.
Or was it merely that your goddess wanted you dead as well, and your delusions of importance prevented you from seeing the obvious?
A whore's beguiling charms, nothing more. But the spell's broke now, Theos. The trial's over. I know friend from foe. And I've come here now to see a foe repaid.
You were able to destroy a god because another god wished it. Without her hand to guide you, you could not strike at a god any more than you could strike the sky. You are impotent, and not just from the pops. You are far from home, dwarf.
I knew my hunt would send me a long way from Masuk. It was a challenge I was glad to undertake for my village.
That's why.
A journey, then. It must be of some import to take you so far and to last so long.
It's important to Masuk, and so it's important to me.
You are here because you are lost. The gods cannot reach everyone, I'm afraid. May you fare better in your next lives. I gather you have had your soul awakened. Why else would you shadow my footsteps like some stray mongrel? You think I have something to offer you, but our business was concluded long ago.
Sprawa między nami zakończy dopiero wtedy, kiedy powiesz mi wszystko, co chciałbym wiedzieć.
I answered your questions once. That your soul is not fit to accept the answers is of little concern to me. I lied to no one, not to you, not to anyone. The gods are real. They are everything we need them to be, and the world is better for it.
Koło i wszystkich najbardziej samego siebie.
I have no illusions about the costs involved. But what your brief lifespan obscures is that it is what must be done. The heart of this country has skipped a beat, nothing more. I have done far worse. I plunged the peaceful kingdom of Tolosus into civil war. I slew the monarch of Desantio, whose people never knew hardship under his rule, and replaced him with a cruel despot who brought them to ruin. When plague arrived at the great city of Arborensis, I saw to it that the cure did not. They piled their dead outside the city in heaps that rose above their walls. That's where you are mistaken. There was a time, back when your soul was still a shapeless mist, when the world believed only in false gods. Thousands of them. Gods that told them to take slaves. Gods that told them to make war upon their neighbors and devour the slain. Gods that told them to burn their children alive and cover themselves in the ashes as a sign of their faith.
Ja pierdzielę.
But all that changed when they learned of the true gods. Our gods. All those misshapen, bestial instincts melted beneath the radiance of our God's majesty. You could see it in their eyes. That dull emptiness replaced with the glimmer of a kindled spark.
Można było osiągnąć ten sam cel, ucząc ich, że bogów nie ma.
And replaced it with one far worse. Have you imagined this existence? The one the apostate would have created. We are not all so virtuous as she. Without our gods, the most wicked, the most tyrannical, they would take that power for themselves. But more than that, it would be a hollow existence. All mysteries forever unanswered. All purposes constructed from meaninglessness. No endings to bring closure. Only a wheel, turning without mercy, grinding our spirits to dust.
Nie doceniasz śmiertelników.
For all my years, I have seen exactly what they are capable of. What the apostate asked was beyond any man. All I have seen, the millennia of experience. I will not be dissuaded from this course. This is the only way.
Tak, jeszcze.
You have not thought this through. There is no leaving this place for you. I allowed it once, but you have made it all too clear what a mistake my mercy was. With your soul and thousands of others, I will see this world purged of its suffering. Hear me, Woodica. Your servant calls for aid.
Halo.
Roll 10!
Yes.
Hey,
Yes?
I'm here.
What? What? Roll up 10!
My mind feels sharp.
Following your lead.
hey,
What? All those lifetimes spent to preserve a single vital secret. I would expect a man to reconsider his choices after the first 500 years. That's the servant down and the mistress still to go. A good start, worthy of being built upon.
After journeying for lifetimes, I can't imagine his failure, knowing it was all for nothing.
Thousands of souls he has tortured. Would that he could live those sufferings 1,000 times himself.
he was good at serving his god, I give him that. He should have picked a better one.
Aha. Dobra, nie byłem będą.
To apply the teachings of dirt would more immediately satisfy the cravings in my bones. But this is the stronger lesson, for his soul is already marked by his own hand.
a cruelty worthy of this man. Let him know the pain he has wrought. Let his own choices be
Jego
his
własne
punishment.
zbory. Właśnie. Nie. Śmierć to... śmierć jest szybką ucieczką. Żegnam. O.
Yes.
Dobra. Wejdź.
Hey, Theos. He had hold of your soul from a long time back, seems like. You get what you needed from him?
Pierwsza.
Those can be hard to come by. I feel for people still looking for theirs. Easy to see what it means to them to have someone to look to for answers. You'll be feeling better soon then. Good. That's real good. You got it figured out what you're going to do about all that?
Tak.
Got a lot of people out there thinking they've been abandoned by their gods. There's not much that'll put the fear in you more than that. You can take my word for it. If it was in my power, and I know it's not, but if it was, I'd send every last one of those souls right back where they were supposed to go in the first place.
Mógł znowu.
Folks can get back to believing what they used to.
Do dzieci z powrotem wrócą.
After what you've been through, though, I'm sure you got your own ideas. Better make it good.
We've come to the end of it, my friend. It has been an honor to walk this road with you, and I will regret our parting.
Ah, the end of the road greets us at last. You fared well, Watcher. Better than any Watcher has right to. Seems you were a field in need of a flame's cleansing. Would that my own trial had produced such an outcome. I had figured myself for the field all
No
this
nie, on
time.
też był fajny.
But you were the field, and I the darkness. A lesson neither of durance nor of Margaret. But with that trial's end, a new one begins, a God's trial, and I will stand in judgment without mercy.
Never thought I'd see something like this in my travels. Lends a little perspective, doesn't it?
Theos may be gone, but his crimes, the wounds he has inflicted, remain. Yet before you lies an opportunity to heal, to restore, only through the healing of families, repairing the bonds between parent and child, reforging the shattered links between generations, can the dear would be knit whole once more.
Masz rację.
People will long remember the legacy. Let them also remember the healing that followed.
Żegnam. Okej, i to była moja drużyna.
As you wish.
Gdzie ty idziesz? Zaraz napiszę, zapiszemy grę i nazwiemy ten save specjalnie. Ratuję. jest ostatni save. Do boju. Wypowiedz polecenie, aby uruchomić machinę. Prześlij dusze z powrotem do ciał, dla których były przeznaczone. Niech dusze wracają z powrotem do dzieci. Tak jak Hejla chciał. Oto moje zakończenie.
At your command, the ancient device became your instrument, spinning to life with deafening resonance and gathering up the swirling essence like thread on a great spindle. There, in the pale pulsing glow of the machine that set you on this path long ago, you summoned all your strength, focusing on your objective and blocking out all else. With a single concussive blast that rocked the chamber and sent you tumbling to the ground, you freed the souls from their stasis. Exhausted, your consciousness slipping away, your last sight was of the machine, dark and dormant. Then your eyes closed, and sleep welcomed you at long last. After coming to and searching for some time, you discovered the route Theos used to enter Sun and Shadow, and embarked on a long and arduous ascent back to the surface. You emerged in Ter Evron after days of tunneling through the rubble Theos had left behind, and when you stepped into the daylight, you were faced with a different Deerwood than the one you had left. At your direction, the souls diverted by Theos were guided back to the vessels originally meant for them. For the first time, parents of hollow-born children woke to the cries of their infants, and looked into their eyes to see them staring back. People fell to their knees where they stood, thanking Helia or Mogren, or even Aethys for their forgiveness of whatever guilt they felt they bore. But for all the relief that had come to some parents, others only found new grief. For many thousands of Hollowborn had died during Widewind's legacy, many by their parents' own hands. For those children, there would be no homecoming. Yet the last Hollow birth was in the past now, and those parents willing to risk trying for a new child were frequently rewarded, often with twins. Many felt they saw Helia's hand in it, and the year would be remembered as the year of Helia's splendor. Lord Radric's zeal had brought him back to life once, but it would not do so again. Radric's destruction at your hands spelled the end of his suffocating rule over Gilded Vale and the surrounding area. In his absence, the village prospered, becoming a popular destination for new settlers anxious to leave Defiance Bay after the riots. Without a nearby ruler, it also grew more wild, with many settlers moving on as soon as they'd arrived, turned off by lawlessness that was excessive even by Deerwoodin standards. Nevertheless, despite the challenges of living there, Gilded Vale had survived, and would continue to survive for the foreseeable future. Following the assassinations of Duke Avar Wolfgren and Lady Webb, Defiance Bay was thrown into political upheaval. In the ensuing weeks, the streets had become the domain of looters and blackguards. Few dared to step outside their own doors alone or unarmed. But order was soon re-established by the Knights of the Crucible, who, despite their depleted numbers, had gained favor in the public eye for their role in the unraveling of the conspiracy surrounding Widewind's legacy, and were quickly reinforced by returning forces from Fleetbreaker Castle.
Tak jest na razie.
For the Knights, their resurgence marked a return to the tradition as well. Having seen firsthand the dangers presented by dabblers in animancy, the Order quickly abolished the practice internally, preferring the familiarity of their hammers and forges to the uncertainties of essence and adra. Their identity rediscovered, the knights suppressed their political aspirations and began once again to train their recruits in the art of blacksmithing, recapturing the post-revolutionary ideals of Deerwood and regaining the respect of its citizens as a result. Though the machine atop Ter Noaneth had been disabled, it had not seen its last use. Heritage Hill was rebuilt, and no sooner had the first families moved in to resettle the district than members of the Leaden Key, acting under standing orders from their Grand Master, climbed the tower and reactivated the machine. The initiates slew a handful of the new settlers under cover of night and watched as history repeated itself, the victims reanimating and devouring the survivors. After this second incident, the district would remain abandoned.
Ooh.
The Duke's assassination at the apparent hands of an animancer had caused catastrophic rioting in the streets of Defiance Bay, and few animancers survived the first day. Many Deerwoodans took the end of Widewind's legacy as a sign, both that the gods did not approve of animancy, and that the purging of animancers in Defiance Bay had been enough to satisfy them.
Ooh.
In time, their rage would subside, and a number of surviving animancers remained in and around Defiance Bay, often taking to the wilds to practice their science without repercussions. The town of Deerford had seen the last of the cult of Scan. Dark rumors about the town's many curses quickly faded, and travelers soon returned. Abidon's renewal brought new vigor and purpose to a god long known for quiet, steady labor. Handicraft saw a revival in the Deerwood, and no smith wanted for an apprentice. Additionally, Abidon's restored interest in preservation led to redoubled efforts to survey Engwithan ruins. Animancers and craftsmen alike found much to study, but tensions with Air Glanfath rose.
Oui.
As for Stalwart, the Battle of Karen's Scar only strengthened their resolve to unlock the mysteries of Durgan's steel and build new marvels with the White Forge. However, Stalwart's ambitions brought them into further conflict with the Wraith Serens, as more and more impoverished communities gathered at the border and vowed to finish the work of the Iron Flail. It would be many generations before the region saw peace. The Flames That Whisper clan found a cautious peace with Stalwart, particularly once the villagers heard of the aid the ogres had offered against the Eyeless. The clan moved back into the Russet Wood, and as Stalwart grew in prestige, the villagers formed a tighter alliance with their ogre neighbors. Within a generation, ogre traders visited Stalwart, and village hunters were welcome in the Russet Wood. Harmka's death had brought the Devil of Carrick little satisfaction. In time, her taste for vengeance soured. What replaced it was a hunger to feel something, anything, new. Summer had thinned the snowpack twice over when she felt the joint at her elbow first begin to stiffen. She turned her back on the hopes of animancy and civilization and walked east. She pushed through the mountains, past Raid Ceres, and into the broad plains of Ishamiddle. She had forgotten what it was like to simply journey, no goal or destination in mind. Though she felt nothing more than the steady thump of her feet on the road, the endless horizons and grassy meadows were new to her. She measured her time in the gradual rusting of her body and was satisfied. Her movements slowed, but so did the world around her. Waist-high grasses undulated intact in the wind, as gradual as the tides. Sparrows and blackjays made steady pilgrimages across the sky, each flap of their wings a solemn salute. She could hardly move when she found something she had never seen before, the ocean. With the last of her strength, she pulled herself beneath the water, content at last to feel the movement of currents and the constant caress of the waves. Free from the burden of her memory, Maneha soon left the gift-bearers and resumed adventuring. Now that she had a taste for the world, she wanted to experience it anew. Maneha rediscovered her zest for battle, extravagance, and romance. She kept her gaze on the horizon, looking from one journey to another more distant, from the lover in her arms to another more fervent. Hers was a life of excitement, violence, and passion. She moved too quickly for regret to catch up with her, and she hoped only that she might outpace it in the next life as well. The fortress of Cadnua emerged as a bastion of security in the midst of an untamed land, becoming the envy of every thane and earl in Deerwood. Legend grew over time of its impregnability, and stories of formidable invaders easily scattered by the keep's defenses became popular around the hearts of Deerwoodians. Likewise, it also became a beacon to travelers, merchants, and visiting dignitaries alike. Reputed as the finest fortress in all Deerwood, people would journey from near and distant lands alike to experience its fabled hospitality and grandeur. After the death of the master below, a strange quiet fell over the endless paths of Adnua. The attacks on the fortress above ceased, Adnua's silent titan the closest remaining thing to a master in its musty, forgotten passages. Pallegina had gone against the Duke's Bell's orders by inventing a new trade arrangement with the Anamenfath to accommodate the recovering Deerwooden market. With the Deerwood's people still weakened by Weidman's legacy, the Valian republics easily pushed their would-be competitors out of the market. For her outrageous insubordination and audacity, Pallegina was banished from the republics. She traveled north in the Eastern Reach, avoiding Valian ports and entering the ranks of the kind wayfarers. Despite her bravery and dedication to those in her care, her strange appearance made her feel like an outsider wherever she went.
Wow.
Adair chose not to return home to Gilded Vale. Through a number of quiet inquiries, he soon found his way into the underground organization of Aethasians known as the Night Market. Ironically, in learning that the gods had been fabricated, Adair found his faith in Aethus renewed, and that his god was neither alive nor truly a god had become irrelevant. He rose quickly through the ranks of the Night Market for his optimism and for his bold leadership, his ultimate goal to make the Deerwood a place that would welcome followers of the Shining God once again. When the dust settled in sun and shadow, Aloth looked upon the remains of Theos Exarchanon, his former master. He saw where the Grand Master had gone wrong and what would be required to undo the harm Theos had wrought. With a flick of his wrist, he burned Theos's robe, headdress, and every other symbol of the man's power. Never again, he vowed, should Kith live in fear and blind obedience to an authority they did not understand. Armed with the knowledge and courage he had gained on his journeys with the Watcher, he set out on the long and lonely task of dismantling the Leaden Key. With both their aims fulfilled, Kanarua bid the Watcher farewell and sailed back to his beloved Rawatai. There, he came before the Lore College, determined to guide his people down a better path. Before his intrigued peers, he spoke of the accomplishments of the great people of Engwith and their efforts to bring peace to Rawatai and the myriad cultures of Eora. He presented the shattered tablet as proof of the Tonvi Oratoa's existence beyond Rawatai's borders and the shared ideals of Eora's peoples. Kana called for a new age in Rawatai culture, where his people might take their place at the forefront of progress and pave the way toward a better future. Kanarua's speech proved inspiring, and his voice came to be considered an influential one in the push toward continued progress in the northern continent. With Theos defeated and the souls released from sun and shadow, healthy children were born once again in the Deerwood. The grieving mother sought a place where she might do penance for the birthing bell. She returned to Deerford, where, to the astonishment of the villagers, she delivered the first healthy child in over a decade. She remained there, and with each new birth, she saw a measure of hope restored to the Deerwood, and a measure of grace for her own troubled past. Durrance used Magrin's strength only until Theos had been cast from the world, and then swore off her influence entirely. Regret came to weigh heavily on his mind, and a man who had never previously lacked for words or opinions came to embrace silence and contemplation. He continued to wander, penniless and destitute, searching now not for the reason for his goddess's silence, but for a mechanism for revenge. The charred robes he continued to wear as a reminder that he had been burned by his goddess, and not just by the flames of the Godhammer. You and Sagani never found Persoc together. The Adra figurine had gone dark by the time they emerged from Sun and Shadow, and it was another month before Sagani finally accepted that Persoc's trail had gone cold again. Her search took her beyond the Deerwood and as far as the Living Lands. She saw the great coastal cities of Rawatai and the ruins of Old Valia, absorbing the details of these strange and distant lands. 20 years passed before the Adra figurine finally glowed again. When it did, she followed its signal to a quiet hamlet on the outskirts of Adir. There, she met a young farmer and told her of her past as an elder of Masuk. Sagani returned to a village that had forgotten her face, but remembered her story. Masuk greeted her with cautious warmth, and Sagani found that their ways had become strange to her. She also learned that Kalu had perished of winter fever a few years before, and her middle child, Żywo, had died in a raid. But she found her daughter Yakona a hunter and mother of 3, and her son Malak a builder of mighty walls. In them, she came to find her place in the village, and the familiar contours of a world that had changed in her absence. For you, the death of Theos brought an end to your waking visions, and a silence to the whispers of the past. In their absence, you were able to sleep. The questions of a distant lifetime ceased to trouble your soul. All that remained was what to make of the answer. But at the moment, there was little to be done, and the matter would have to wait. A long journey loomed ahead.
Okej. Tylko Sagani miała trudny ten Pillars of Eternity. No i tutaj już napisy. 32. Szczerze? Anarchia. Zrobiliśmy wszystko. 2 zadania tylko się nie udały. Nie udało się jedno zadanie, 2 zadania się nie udały. Tak. Dzisiaj skończyliśmy Pillars of Eternity 1, ale tej serii nie kończymy. O nie! Pokażę. Jedynka skończona, ale czeka nas teraz dwójeczka. Pillars of Eternity Deadfire. Dwójka. To co? Widzimy się w dwójce? Mam nadzieję, że będziecie ze mną. Wszystko się udało. Zobaczcie, ile osób tą grę robiło. Cały czas idzie. Długo. Wiecie. Były 2 dodatki. Gra się udała. Muszę powiedzieć, że udało mi się wszystko tak, jak chciałem. Dzieci wracają do dzieci, nie ma później zrodzonych. My jesteśmy wolni, możemy robić co chcemy, znaczy już nie żyjemy, no. Też nie ma tam, że padliśmy. Tylko, że zasnęliśmy. To może żyjemy? To była fajna przygoda. O, i dziękuję, że byliście ze mną w Pillars of Eternity Anarchia. Mamy 2 dodatki, wszystko zrobione. Można powiedzieć, to była fajna przygoda. No i teraz trzeba będzie dopisać trzeba będzie dopisać. Okay, trzeba może tutaj z dzisiejszą datą wydrukować to i dopisać z dzisiejszą datą. Będzie 10. gra. Pilary ziemi, Pillars of Eternity. Dobra, ale teraz nie mam drukarki włączonej. Pokażę to, jak będę dwójkę już nagrywał. Fajnie się grało, ale kiedyś każdą grę trzeba skończyć. Pozytywne zakończenie. Jest tak. Widzimy się w dwójeczce.